Greetings, wise ones. This is Melissa from 8th House Wisdom. I'm back with the video for the harvest moon of 2022. If you'd like to learn more about the full moon in Pisces, how to reap your fullest harvest, and release in ways that make the full moon work for you, then stay tuned for the rest of this video. Have finally reached the end of summer, and we are in the middle of harvest season. On the wheel of the year, which is prominent in Celtic cultures and other cultures that follow a seasonal spiritual understanding, we are in between what is known as Yamas, the start of harvest season, and Mabon, which will happen on the spring equinox, and that pretty much runs our harvest season. Pre-global warming, when we could really rely on the changing of plants, the sky, and the temperature to orient you in time and space. Remember that the core of astrology is it's a calendar and a time-telling system to orient you to what season it is, where the sunlight is going to be, and what's best to do. So that's why so much of this information ends up being focused on seasons and what's happening. The period between Yamas and Mabon is from August 1st to September 21st or 22nd, depending upon what day the equinox occurs. I bring this up because the harvest moon is very similar to, in other religious traditions, what you would call a movable feast. The harvest moon doesn't always occur in September. Sometimes it occurs in September, sometimes it occurs in October. It isn't always the Pisces moon, though more predominantly it has been. It is related to what will be the full moon that happens closest to the autumnal equinox. And so that's either the moon that comes directly before it or directly after it, which means, for instance, in 2020, we had an October harvest moon, but for 2021 and this year 2022, we have had a September Pisces harvest moon. And so the closest full moon, which is the first full moon that is not a super full moon in 4 cycles, will be happening at 5:58 on September 10th, giving us that beautiful amber glow of the harvest light, helping all of our agrarian workers pull the last fruits of their bounty from the fields and prepare for the dimming light, the falling trees, and the arrival of fall and winter. This full moon is going to be directly impacted by heavy feminine energy because we are in the middle of retrograde season, which is to focus internally, and internal focus is feminine energy. On September 9th, Mercury will be going retrograde, which will give us the 6th planet to go retrograde. And Venus, the feminine energy planet, has just entered the sign of the Maiden Virgo on September 5th, so at the beginning of the week. So we really have an intense focus on internal registration of what we're seeing. You know, we need to focus our inner hearing, our inner vision, our inner sense, the internal workings of things, looking to synchronicities, dreams, intuition, because we're in Pisces season, and Pisces is the only water sign without a hard exoskeleton. Scorpios and Cancers have hard shells, pincers, and the scorpion a stinger that can allow it to back people up. The two Pisces fish, one swimming upstream and one swimming down, aside from fish scales, they are open and available to the elements, which means we can be feeling really psychic and very spongy this weekend, but that means that we also must do a lot to ground our energy. Good thing we're in an earth sign season of Virgo, so that we can handle what is coming through for us. All of this internal focus can be great if we put it on practical things, cleaning of our house, focusing more on Virgo energy, our health, as well as focusing on pleasure and self-care, bringing in the ushering of Venus into Virgo. And then again, with the full moon, we want to attend to some form of ritual or self-care activity that allows us to mark the end of this phase of light and culmination, so that we can release and allow the intentions that we set at the new moon to move ahead and energetically fill in their space. When it comes to thinking about the lunar wisdom formula for Pisces moon, there are a few things we need to focus on. The archetype of Pisces is the mystic, right? So they, with their psychic, spongy, watery energy, they are mystical, magical. They live between two worlds. They rule the 12th house, the house of the unseen, your blind spot. This is why this energy is focusing more on the subconscious, the secrets. This is also known as the house of secrets, and our spiritual life. Again, all this internal focus. So, now is the time for us to reap harvest from the last 6 months. And the new moon in Pisces happened on March 2nd, 2022. So look back to that date as you are identifying things that might be coming to conclusion in a 6-month cycle, in addition to that 2-week cycle between the new moon and the full moon. Also remembering, as I said, this lunation is not only impacted by Venus in Virgo, so the lover of arts is a bit more practical and earthen, and Mercury stationing retrograde in Libra, which means it's going to give us a focus on partnership. And Libra is ruled by Venus, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury, so there is what we call mutual reception, right? So there is an interplay happening there. But we also have Mars, which is the divine masculine, Venus the divine feminine, in Gemini, yet another Mercury ruled planet. And Mars is just starting its shadow. It's pre-shadow because Mars will be going retrograde in October. It'll leave us at 6 retrogrades because I think Mercury retrograde will be over by that time. But again, a reminder, we're in retrograde season, right? That means that we're going to have a lot of intellectual, relationship, and health-based and pleasure-based energy to kind of work with around this moon. You need to be prepared to sacrifice and release to make a way for more, because Pisces energy is one about self-denial and self-sacrifice. Listen to your inner voice in your subconscious. Please Watch for blocks and blind spots in your environment and also in connecting with yourself. Some of the red flags that we need to be paying attention to is, am I lying to myself? Am I telling myself a better feeling story so that I don't have to drop this or release this? Because again, full moons indicate that we must release things, right? Which is, again, release to receive. Take a retreat and enjoy solitude. The 12th house in Pisces energy really enjoy being away, relaxing. They can thrive in solitude, even though many Pisces enjoy being with other people. That's, I think, sometimes as an attempt to disassociate. But solitude is actually good for them so that they can hear the voices that are speaking to them and begin to make friends with them and run them instead of the voices running their lives. You also need to tune into your increased sensitivity and intuition. Y'all know me, I'm big on crystals. Please, crystal and jewel yourself up when you go outside with bare skin on a Pisces moon, because the psychic fields are high, right? We are living in, Pisces is known for living in between two worlds, so we are pretty good hands there. However, you can find yourself more weepy. Full moons already increase energetic intensity. So if you are sensitive to these kinds of things, just make sure that you're prepared. Also recognize that Friday and Saturday are not really days that we're going to be in touch with reality. Friday, September 9th and Saturday, September 10th are not days where the cosmic or the cosmology indicates that we're going to be in real touch with reality. There will be much more of a foggy, dreamy, Pisces-like feel to it. Roll with it, enjoy, role play, get into your imagination. Note that if you are someone with a Gemini or Virgo sun, moon, or rising, you are probably already experiencing retrograde vibes. If you have Mercury prominently placed in your chart, or if you're in a Mercury ruled year, that relates to Time Lords, then you'll also be feeling it. I'm raising my hand because I'm a Gemini rising. Mercury rules my chart, so I'm always tuned in. That's why I'm always beating the drum about Mercury retrograde. But Virgo also being a Mercury ruled sign and the moon opposing that, we're really, and again, like I said, all of those placements, we're really going to be feeling a lot right now. We're going to be going between having lots of feels and lots of sensitivity to then being really potentially overly critical with ourselves, which is something that we are working on in Virgo season as we are attempting to recover from perfectionism, right? But it's time for us to reap our harvest. It's important to accept that there's probably going to be an ending occurring in your Pisces ruled house. And it's going to give you an opportunity over the next 2 weeks to fully release anything needed there to move forward. To learn more about what house is going to be affected and what those areas are, click the link in the description below to head over to my blog, where I have a breakdown of every rising or sun sign, the house that's impacted, as a quick little check-in, because that will be great information, assuming you know that. And last but not least, just want to talk about working with the moon cycle across the board, because these are all the things that you need to be able to apply aspects of the lunar wisdom formula. Please remember that when it comes to manifestation, we have reached peak energy with the full moon, right? Because we're at full light. But the magic of Luna cannot work if we hold too tightly to our intention, like a woman carrying a clutch. It's time for us under these skies to do a lot of releasing and rethinking of different areas in our life, because the full moon and the Mercury retrograde and Mars, which is the planet of action and energy, hitting a shadow period means everything is being internally focused. We need to make sure that we're watching out for those basic Mercury retrograde things that we want to avoid or be cautious about buying or repairing technology, traveling, just tech issues in general, miscommunications, and noting that there is the return of lovers and friends and families during this period of time. Sometimes to rekindle something for long term, sometimes to close out a chapter. And so as you think about those things, I want to leave us with just some full moon releasing prompts, because it's about releasing that help keep us focused and allow us to really manifest big so we can reap a great harvest and create the vacuum through releasing needed to be in the best of spaces. So that also involves these questions. Where do you feel your soul being unfulfilled right now? How can you release what doesn't move you towards your greater soul mission so that you can move towards your true calling? What steps have you taken in the direction of your soul's true calling and desires in the past 6 months? And last but not least, how can I appreciate my accomplishments and my internal awareness more? These are all things that are going to allow you to best apply the lunar wisdom formula. If you don't know what that is, or you want to dig in more in addition to going to my blog and checking out this information, head over to my website where I will give you a free copy of your birth chart so that we can get you in the know. That way you will be able to identify where all of the necessary planets and markers are in your chart and will be best able to apply the lunar wisdom formula. Which leads us to that very thing, my DIY book, the lunar wisdom formula. This is a highly affordable instant download that will take you through learning about how to apply the sign, house, and theme of each lunation, new moon, and full moon to your own chart and your calendar so that you can best make use of scheduling, know what the energetic container looks like, and prepare yourself moving forward to take best action and manifest by the moon. It also comes complete with all the remaining lunation dates for 2022 so that most of the work is done for you. Now, if you would like a higher touch with more support across the board, then check out my moon membership, Lunate, the Wisdom Circle. And there you will get notebooks and workbooks aligned to each lunation and curated information to allow your moon watching process to be so much easier and so much richer. Finally, like I said, it's a Pisces moon outside, and I am suggesting that everybody check in and get yourself some crystals, please check out my link for ethically sourced high quality crystals, and you can use my coupon code 8th House Wisdom to get 11% off of any purchases. Highly recommend wearing black crystals right now to absorb energy so that you can define what's yours and what's not yours. That can be a really big challenge right now with all of the psychic energy that can be directed at people. So, again, it's been a pleasure to bring you all of this information. This is the moon I have been most excited about. I am so looking forward to reaping my harvest, seeing what pours in over the next 3 days as we dance in the amber glow of the full moon. And I want to always remind you, wise ones, that life does come with an instruction manual. It is written in the stars. Until I see you again for the next video, sending you lots of light and love. Take care.